why I remove scalp in many of my patients. At heart, I think of myself as an artist, but also importantly, a scientist. And I like to look at things objectively. So if I'm looking at someone's problem with hair loss, you can almost quantify what and how many hairs you will need. You can measure, and we can do this with our artist system. We can pre-measure how wide someone's scalp, how long someone's scalp, and what the square surface of that scalp is going to be. At that same time, we can figure out how many hairs approximately we're going to need. Now imagine if you could take that rug that's 9 by 12 centimeters, imagine that's your skin, and shrink that to half the size. You could put the same amount of hairs in the larger rug, and you still won't feel like you have enough coverage. But in that smaller rug, you're going to have a lot more hair there. It's going to get a lot more perception of coverage. So what I like to do in almost all my patients is remove a little bit of scalp. Now, I'm not removing big chunks of scalp. I'm removing small little bits of scalp. And I'm doing this with a modified punch technique. What I do here is I use a micro punch. A micro punch is not a skin biopsy punch. This won't work. This is going to create a scar. My punches are less than 1 millimeters in width. Some of them are 0.5 millimeters, some of them are 0.6 millimeters, some 0.8 millimeters, 0.7 millimeters. By having such a small punch, I'm going to be able to remove lots and lots of scalp. If I do this 1,000 times 0.7 millimeters is going to create almost, in my experience, it'd be almost like 7 square centimeters of scalp that's been removed from someone's square surface area, which is much easier to cover that. It's kind of a critical element, I think, in hair transplant surgery, is removing some of the scalp. This also allows patients to be able to get a good result with one treatment rather than multiple treatments, which is kind of the standard, I think, in hair transplant surgery. So, what is the key, I think, to recipient site making? It's taking your time. For us, it typically takes us at least an hour, sometimes longer. And that's because our technique is super detail-oriented. We have very small recipient sites for the front. We have punches that are removing certain areas of the skin out, and going from there.